first kids that ever moved into Home Sweet Home was in my house. This is 20 years ago. And he was in my house, in my dining room. And he was enraged. And he was cursing God. He was cursing God with Shema Malchus. And I never heard anything like this. A kid, F-U-C-K-G-O-D, the whole, like, and I'm sitting here and I have no training and I'm like, this is horrible. And, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to do? So I told him, I said, Siyata D'Shmaya, I said, I think since Avram Avinu, there was never any Jew that had so much emunah. So he looks at me like, what? I said, yeah, you really believe in God, and you really believe in Hashgacha Pratis. You really believe that Hashem does everything that happens. And you were hurt really, really bad. And you know that Hashem pulled the trigger. You know that Hashem gave the command that you should be so hurt. And you're really angry at him. Your emunah level is so high. You really, really believe. And he looked at me and he said, wow, I never thought of it that way. This was somebody who was not at all religious, someone who was eating on Yom Kippur, someone who was anti-religion. And he became completely Shemitah Mitzvahs. And it's really easy for us to be from those of us who didn't suffer, but somebody who went through what he went through and what so many other people go through. Who are we to tell them you can't express yourself? We're not allowed to. We can't tell them, don't talk like that. They're in so much pain. We know that the Divrei Yoel, the Satmar Rebbe, Schus Yogan Aleinu, said that when you see a Yid with a number, a tattoo on him, you should ask him for a bracha, even if he's not from. Somebody who goes through a Holocaust and is not from, who can judge them? Baruch Hashem, people were able to rebuild, but nobody can judge somebody who went through what they went through and wasn't able to rebuild. Children who go through what some of our kids are going through, if any human did this to them, we would put that human in jail. And they have to deal with the fact that there's a God. That's why a lot of them are atheists. I think that a lot of those who are atheists are protecting the dignity of Hashem. They say there can't be a God. Because if he is, how did he, don't tell me there's a reason why a 7-year-old should get raped. They can't fathom, they can't. So if most people in Klal Yisrael don't really think about it. We didn't go through a Holocaust. We don't go through personal Holocaust. We don't have to deal with that. But there are people who know what's going on out there. And it really, it's a lot of emunah and bitachon. We say Kitayv Hashem, we believe Kitayv Hashem, Hashem is good. As a parent, when you know your child, what happened to the kid at 5, at 6, it's a real challenge. It's a real challenge, and we're human beings and we have our moments. That's why it says that you're not allowed to, someone's cursing Hashem, you're not allowed to be angry at him. There's different Gemaras about it. It's Gemara Reb Shimon bar Yochai. He asked somebody, the guy was cursing Hashem in pain, and he told him you're not allowed to do that. So he said, why don't you daven to Hashem instead of curse Hashem? So he said, okay, I daven to Hashem that you should have all my pain. And Shimon bar Yochai said, he's right. Don't criticize somebody in pain. Tell him, daven. Come up with all your ideas. Can't talk like that. God is a big boy. He can handle himself. The fact that there's dialogue, who are we to judge? I'm not saying it's easy to hear. I was cringing, but we have a tafkid. You could shut somebody down. You didn't fix them. You didn't carry them to a better place. It's very easy to do. Shut people down. How did you help them? You can't talk like this in my house. You can't say that. I hear it, but I said, you're human. You're in tremendous pain. His life was ruined. He believes Hashem did it. Why should he not be able to express himself? Like I said, if it was a human being that did it to him, we would put the guy in jail. So it's Hashem. So of course it didn't happen to us. So we right away say, well, of course it's Basher. But when a person goes through that, it's their journey. And you can't shut up someone's journey. You have to let them be on their journey. This same person became so frum. I could tell you stories of godless, of davening and tefillah. But if I would have told him whatever people say, he I would have lost him. I would have lost him, and I would have been wrong. I would have showed him, like, you have no right to express yourself. That's communism. I don't believe that that's the right thing to do. When you're dealing in the real world, you hear a lot of bad stuff, and you have to be mature enough and strong enough to hold it and hold them and let them know that I don't judge you for how you feel, and I'm here for you. We can't look down at somebody who we didn't go through their pain, because what we're doing is we're assuming that if we went through, in the next Gilgal, would anybody want to be them? No. If I went through everything they went through, why do I think I would be any better? So it takes a lot of anova to realize that. We don't judge people until you walk a mile in their shoes. And then you're a mile away from them and you have their shoes, so keep on walking. We can't condemn people for feeling abandoned. And we just have to hold their hands and hug them and say, I don't understand it either. I'm with you. And don't take it personally. They're just expressing. Let it come out. Let it ooze out. That's what I felt worked on so many people. I say worked for their benefit, that they were able to get it out of their system, feel heard, and then make peace with Hashem. It's very interesting that the Nesiv Shalom brings out that Yom Kippur is the day that we make peace with Hashem, that Hashem forgives us. Purim, it sounds like it's the day that we forgive Hashem. There's a lot in our relationship. And for some people, it's a very nice, easygoing relationship. Baruch Hashem, it should be for everybody. But for other people, it's a very real and difficult, tough relationship that they've seen children get hurt, or trauma or abuse. They've davened, they weren't answered. They have sometimes a very deep, deep relationship. There was once a father told his son, how could you eat treif, or how could you be Mechal Shabbos? How could you do that? How could you do that to Hashem? And the kid said, Daddy, don't worry about me and God. We go back a long way. And he started. We have a long history together of pain. Don't worry. And we jump in. Hashem, Hashem, Hashem. It's their journey, and we have to support them. At the same time, we have to work on our emunah. And when you go to the psych ward, you have to make sure you don't become a patient. So we know the truth, and we're here to be with people in pain, to carry their pain without it affecting us to doubt Hashem. We believe Kitayv Hashem, Hashem is good. Kitayv Havaya, the Eibush is good. At the same time, we can't tell that to somebody who went through, it's usher to tell it to somebody who went through tremendous pain. And it's also, it's not helpful. And it perpetuates things for much, much longer. That's how I feel about that.